So that's right, Outriders just received its biggest update yet. We're going to be going over all of the changes and patch notes in just a moment. And oh my god, there's a lot to talk about. Take a look at the post from the community manager here about all the changes that went live just now for Outriders. We're going to be talking about changes to character classes, multiplayer. They fixed the snipers. We're going to be talking about item restoration because that has not gone live yet. So just a note there. But a ton of changes to gear and mods, enemies. They also address the issue with scaling and downscaling with this game. So let's go into it right now. Hey everyone, what's happening? Open World Games here. Hope you're doing good. And let's see what's going on with Outriders right now. Let's go straight to the post from Square Enix community manager. Let's see what he had to say. He says, "Hello Outriders, we have just released a significant patch for Outriders. More on that further below. As you will know, we've been spending a lot of time on our character and inventory restorations process. It has been hard to provide an exact date on its go live date so far, mainly because it has hovered on the very threshold of releasing for some time, but a small number of edge cases have forced us to reiterate and retest the process several times over. The greatest difficulty we're facing in particular relates to giving characters the correct item levels, as item levels are calculated using 3 different variables: character level, highest unlocked world tier, and highest completed challenge tier. The complexity of these 3 variables together on individual affected characters is taking some time for us to get it right. Our tests indicate that restoring higher level gear than they should have leads to further character corruption, so we're not able to issue a blanket one-size-fits-all solution here. That is such a bummer to hear. Now, they say this, though: as our restoration tests have progressed, our latest patch was cleared for release, so that has been released officially today on all platforms. While we had hoped to run the restoration process before releasing the patch, this unfortunately is not possible, so we have made the decision to release the patch today so that players can benefit from its fixes while we continue to iterate and work on the restoration process. We will update you as soon as we have more news on the progress of the restoration and the community appreciation package that will follow. So yeah, at least we have this big patch right here. So, you know, even if your character is, you know, stuck and you can't access him, or you're going through the inventory bug, you can, you know, experience the game still with your alt characters. Maybe they will become your main characters. I don't know. Alright, this patch notes. While there will be some major fixes that we're sure will be appreciated by players, this patch includes the fixes and resolutions for many smaller and minor bugs that were reported or discovered during the demo and launch period of Outriders, but were unable to be augmented into the hot fixes we worked on during the same period. No, this patch does not restore inventories or fix characters encountering the can't connect to server issue. These restoration fixes are currently being worked upon. Alright, let's talk about the highlights. It says, only the bundled patch highlights are listed here at the top of this thread. There are many specific and detailed patch notes. We'll still go over some of those. It says, fixed a number of crashes throughout the game. Fixed a number of issues, bugs, and crashes associated with multiplayer. Resolved an issue that could cause players to get stuck on the sign-in screen. Thank God. Lots of resolutions for gear, mods, skill, quests, level, and lighting bugs. They rebalanced the AI snipers, now give players more time to dodge their shots. Hell yes. It says reduce the amount of knockback from creatures in the Stargrave Expedition. It says there is now also a greater delay between spawns and a reduced number of the offending creatures. And I think they're going to start here with Stargrave, since it's one of the most underplayed expeditions, and mess around and goof around with the AI and stuff, and then probably expand it in further patches. That's my guess. Now it says fixed a bug where a skill damage improvement mod on gear with a higher tier level than the player would actually reduce damage when used at lower world tiers. Fixed a bug that was causing a number of mods to not properly trigger their on-shot, on-critical shot effects if said shot was a killing shot. Fixed a bug that caused the Trickster's Hunt the Prey skill to not teleport, but still go into cooldown. Thank God. Dude, you know, I am playing with Trickster. He's my main. I love the Trickster, and it has been an absolute pain playing with that bug. Half the time I'm like, why am I even playing as Trickster? But now it is fixed. Says PC fixed an issue whereby old crash dumps were not being properly cleared from the player's system. Added support for rebinding the FN delete end. So this is PC specific. The available FOV configuration has been increased from 90 to 130. So some really cool stuff going on with PC. And there's a lot more details as well. Now, let's keep going, shall we? We have a note here from the developers as well. It says, note, these are predominantly bug fixes to resolve issues whereby the game was not working as intended. While this is not intended as a rebalancing pass of the game. Some bug fixes may change the way certain skills work, where an intentional rebalance has occurred. We have earmarked this with rebalance. Please do not consider this a proper rebalancing pass. That is simply a small number of changes for which a patch was required. This is indicating, of course, that they will be doing some rebalancing with the game in the future. So let's get into the nitty-gritty with the changes. They have a lot of stuff here. They even have like a patch notes index. So they have changed general resolutions, multiplayer resolutions, general gear skill and mods resolution, enemy and bosses, quests, so on and so forth. So let's begin with the general resolutions and changes. It says fixed a large number of crashes throughout the game, resolved an issue that could cause players to get stuck on the signing screen, of course, fixed several lighting, shadow, and reflection issues within levels and cutscenes, general level improvements including fixed collision, textures, LOD, OOD visibility, W visibility, and grounded various floating assets. Also resolved a number of situations where players could get stuck in the game world, so that's nice. Numerous cover fixes for specific locations, including character alignment, cover-to-cover transition, and blind fire. Hell yes. And then they say camera movement has been improved during various cutscenes with smoothing is enabled. Sweet. Improved visibility of the crosshair, improved visibility of tutorial pop-up notifications. They're getting to a lot of stuff that people have been complaining about. Kudos to people can fly here. So side quest icons will now no longer persist on the map after completion. The crosshair will no longer display when looking at allies. Fixed edge case progression blockers and objective issues in numerous main and side quests. Sweet. So it's fixed an edge case issue whereby swapping characters could lead to a loss of the player inventory. Oh dear God. Now, rebalancing says the over-leveling system scaling multipliers have been adjusted. The system will activate one level later when your average gear level is a minimum of 3 levels higher than the enemies you're facing. Previously, that was 2 levels. Now, it says outgoing damage will now be reduced less right there. It says improvements made to incoming damage scale, meaning players will feel more powerful without completely eliminating the threat of enemy NPCs. Now, they also said conditions that will trigger the system have been cleaned up, which will eliminate unintuitive behavior such as damage increasing when using low-level weapons. Let me know what you guys think of this system now, if you still think it should be intact. We got to test this out, by the way. Cannot wait to dive into this a lot more in the future to try the downscaling. I know it's a major issue, or has been a significant issue more in co-op than anything else, but let's keep going. Just consoles, a UI scale option has been added to the settings. Reduce the sensitivity of the touchpad swipe on PlayStation. Resolve the crash that could occur after the opening cinematic. Overall, code optimizations have been made. Sweet. So yeah, those are specific things to the consoles right there. Now, what about multiplayer changes and resolutions? Now, they go on to say this. The default background matchmaking setting has been changed to closed. Previously it was open. This change can still be reverted manually in your settings. This is going to be absolutely fantastic because anyone that goes into matchmaking, hopefully that reduces the number of instances where you go into a lobby with a host that is AFK. That's going to be the goal with that one right there. Now it says, furthermore, fixed a bug that could prevent clients from joining the host, resolved performance issues that appeared right after loading into co-op game, improved the loading time for players' gear when joining a co-op session, fixed a bug whereby a client could load into a corrupted lobby if the host lost internet connection whilst loading into a game, fixed an issue where the host will be unable to select a story point other than the clients had not unlocked. Now it has some more details about that. So a bunch of stuff. It says fixed a bug where a player could complete a storyline was unable to join expeditions if a story point before the end of the game has been selected right there. So yeah, a bunch of bug fixes for multiplayer. There are tons of them. Look at this right here. I will go ahead and throw all of this in the description below as well so you can read it for yourself. But let's talk about gear, skills, and mods resolutions. Now these are rebalancing. This is for crafting. Cost of improving rare to epic and leveling up epic gear from levels 1 to 30 have been lowered. Thank God. It says this will make improving items cheaper in the early game. Fixed a bug where a skill damage improvement mod on gear with a higher level then the player would actually reduce the damage when used at lower world tiers. Now it says fixed a bug that caused the UI to display at 0 in the preview when upgrading the Hell's Rangers weapons. Alright, take a look at this. We have specific updates for our character classes. Let's dive into this right now. As you guys know, of course, I am rocking the Trickster, by far one of my personal favorite builds, of course. So we're going to be diving into this right now. Let's take a look-see. Now for the Trickster, it says fixed a bug that caused the Trickster's Hunt the Prey skill to not teleport but still go into cooldown. That is the biggest one. I feel like there is a sigh of relief from me big time. It says resolved instances where the Hunt the Prey could be used to teleport to unintended locations. Fix a bug that caused the Trickster's Venator's Knife mark to vanish after casting Hunt the Prey skill on the marked enemy. And then also fix the bugs whereby the Move Groove mod's anomaly and fire power buff icons did not appear correctly on the HUD. So a lot of cool changes for Trickster. Let me know if you guys are going to be diving into that. Now you'll notice they didn't do anything with twisted rounds, and honestly people are discovering really cool anomaly centric builds anyway. I think it's still having players experiment, but again, I think a lot of us want to see some sort of buff to the twisted rounds. Let me know if that's you. Alright, so we have the Pyromancer here. It says fixed a bug that was preventing the Pyromancer's Feed the Flame skill from applying the Ash status effect to Screechers. Fixed a bug whereby the Pyromancer's Phoenix Nesting skill occasionally granted the player the incorrect HP in multiplayer. It now grants the correct 50% HP. And they also fixed a bug that was causing Pyromancer to exit cover after using the Thermal Bomb skill. Now they fixed a bug that could cause the Pyromancer's Boots of Lava Lich legendary gear item to not include the appropriate mod. So you Pyromancers, get happy. Now, what about the Devastator? We know that the Devastator has had a rough go of it, especially when it comes to the end game. You know, people just kick the Devastator out of there, which sucks. And that's also Expeditions, an issue with that. But let's dive into this. All right, Devastator says fixed a bug that caused the Perseverance Shield mod's damage reduction buff to not correctly end after the Golem effect wore off. They also fixed a bug with the Devastator's extra Quake mod, which sometimes provided more than one extra skill activation in the end of fights. Now they fixed a bug that caused lurkers affected by the Endless Mass skill to appear on the top of the player if you walked under them. Now they fixed a crash that could occur if you're boulder dashed into a wall. Fixed the instance of Gravity Leap causing players to get stuck in unintended places. Resolved instances where boulder dash could be used to reach unintended locations. Improve the FX of the Reflect Bullet skill to make it more visible on PlayStation. Interesting. One little PlayStation change there. Now, Technomancer has been rebalanced. It says the minigun mod Massacre, which was changed in the previous patch, has had its duration reverted to its original value, but will now only stack up to 6 times. Fixed the bug whereby the Toxic Lead Armor mod was not triggering properly if an enemy was killed via a skill. They also addressed where Technomancers would be stuck on their main weapon if they used Tools of Destruction and Pain Launcher at the same time. They fixed the bug with Tools of Destruction where melee or further skill was prevented if the skill was interrupted by using the mouse wheel. They addressed an issue whereby the Perpetuum mobile weapon mod was also replenishing the Technomancer's Tool of Destruction minigun ammo. And they addressed the bug that allowed the Technomancer's turrets to be placed on vertical surfaces. They addressed the issue that caused the AI to ignore the Technomancers if a turret had been spawned before the AI spawned. Specific console updates here. So we have an Xbox One. Deployed Technomancer turrets now correctly display their health bars, and on PlayStation, they fixed an issue that caused the Technomancer's shrapnel skill to break the sprint animation. They also fixed the set description of the Borealis Monarch set in English language right there. So, you know, they really went all in with the fixes and updates with this update for sure. My God. Furthermore, they say this skills can now be properly cast when using the targeting feature after changing the key binding, and improve the visual indicator for throwables as well. So that's going to be super important. Yeah, one of the things that was annoying with throwables, and Technomancer in particular, was just that. it felt awkward. So hopefully that has been improved. It's one of the reasons why I kind of avoid Technomancer at first. But hey, I think that'll get people more into that class. Just those simple quality of life adjustments. Alright, Gear and Mods says fixed a bug that was causing the certain mods to not properly trigger on their own shot on critical shot effects if said shot was a killing shot. They fixed an issue that caused the emerging stance mod's damage reduction buff to not correctly end. They also fixed the mod that caused the anomaly surge tier 1 mod to not proc as expected. They fixed the bug that caused the legendary set bonuses to not show correct items being active in the armor details. Now they fixed a bug that caused bright lights to appear on the screen when using the Storm Whip mod, and they fixed a bug that also caused the Legacy of a Knock achievement to not properly unlock. That is PlayStation specific minor visual fixes to female gloves. Alright. What about enemies? Let's take a look at some of the rebalancing going on there. Furthermore, they say AI snipers now give players more time to dodge their shots, reduce the amount of knockback from creatures in the Stargrave Expedition as well. Now, Molten Aquarius has fixed a bug whereby the Molten Aquarius jump attack was still damaging players who successfully dodged its AoE. Players successfully dodging the AoE will now no longer be damaged. And they addressed an issue that allowed Devastator to permanently stun the Molten Aquarius by using the Endless Mass skill without any cooldown. They addressed the issue that caused the Molten Aquarius boss fight to pause for around 1 to 2 minutes if one of the clients disconnected right before dealing with the finishing blow on stage 1 and transitioning to stage 2, and they addressed an issue that caused the spiderlings to freeze during the third phase of the Molten Aquarius boss fight. Now the Triosloid, or however you say that, debuff icon applied to the Cryosloid boss will now remain in between phases. Fix an issue where the Cryosloid boss fight does not progress if the player kills the boss during the black screen between phases. Now, Yagik says fixed a bug that could give Devastators unlimited healing when using the Impel skill during the boss fight. PlayStation specific here, fix an issue that caused Yagik's tentacle ability to damage players before it actually landed. Now they fixed an issue that prevented the Brood Mother from dealing damage to the player with melee attacks while standing on an elevated platform located on the left side of the encounter area at the outpost gate area in the quarry. Alright, so some specific boss battle fixes right there. So that is cool. Honestly, I want to see them expand with these bigger boss battles where you can use your abilities more. Because that's one of the biggest issues a lot of us notice is that, hey, we're not really able to use our abilities against these big bosses. Now, if you're a Technomancer, that's a different story, but I hope they continue updating, or if they do have future boss battles, they take note of that as well. So, let's keep going, shall we? Alrighty then. What do we have next? Okay, so furthermore, we have this one right here. It says fixed a bug whereby the crawler range attack was damaging players beyond the attack range indicated by the UI. Strix are now better able to cope with players standing too close to a wall. Fixed AI, including Berserker pathing optimization skill usage, as well as reacting to and properly attacking players. Health bars for enemy skills such as anomaly rifts are now correctly hidden if the enemy health bar mode is set to hide in options. Animations for enemies have been fixed in certain situations, particularly in cover and recovering from knockdowns. Now they also fixed an issue that caused the FX to the weightlessness mod to now work as intended with crawlers. Resolved issues that caused the game to become unresponsive when interacting with NPCs, particularly when using skills or changing input methods. That's been annoying. Then we have a bunch of PC specific stuff right here, which includes a crash that occurred during the enemy spawn in the first arena of Kim Plant Expedition. That has been addressed. Fixed a rare bug whereby players were unable to properly sell items to vendors. Fixed an issue whereby the cursor would turn invisible during dialogue with NPCs. And they also fixed some issues with PlayStation specific. They fixed a bug that causes Ziadi's tent to disappear from the camp. My god. Fixed NPCs T-posing in certain situations. No, don't do that. Don't fix that bug. That's like an iconic bug. Just kidding. It's good to see that they have fixed a lot of this stuff. Now, they have a bunch of random fixes in here as well. We're going to talk about quest and expedition specific fixes. So this fixed the bugs that caused the stash to lock if the player died in a bad day side quest. Fixed the bug that prevented the Big Jaw Monster Hunt side quest from being completed if the player died during it. The navigation line during the Relics main quest has been addressed. Fixed the bug that made the Historian quest in Dead Rock Pass inaccessible if players initiate combat after triggering the exit prompt. And then they fixed a bug in the sacrifice main quest that prevented progress by not updating the objective correctly. So a bunch of bug fixes, as you can see, to specific things with quest and expeditions. Now they also have some audio fixes as well, including fixed audio clipping, miscellaneous subtitle fixes. So I know that has actually been an issue with audio. Then other changes and minor bug fixes were addressed. They added protection for when claiming items from the inbox when the stash and inventory are full as well. And then they fixed a co-op exploit where multiple legendary rewards could be obtained from the historian bounty Monster Hunter quest line has been fixed and addressed. So they addressed an exploit right there as well. Alright, so let me see here if there are additional things. Now there are specific things going on with PC as well. The available FOV for configuration has been increased. Once again, you guys can take a look at the specific stuff they have done for the PC as well. But there's a few things in there that are noteworthy. But there it is. A lot of stuff. My God. So this is a pretty beefy update. I hope that it goes well. I'll keep you guys updated. You know, it just released. The patch just released, so we'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys in the know also about the restoration process, the appreciation package that will be coming up here as well. So stay tuned for that. But thank you once again for watching and for all the love and support on the video. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you all next time. Take care.